Hi guys! So today I'm going to talk about the differences that I think there are between tampons, pads, sponges, and cups. And I'm only talking about these 4 things because those are the 4 things that I have used. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is just a regular old pad. I'm not gonna say regular pad, but a disposable pad. I think that just regular pads are great for beginners, for girls that have just started their period. Great for at nighttime. The things I don't like about, the cons in my mind for pads are, you obviously can't swim with them. They're really not the best for sports or anything where you're gonna be doing a lot of moving. And I feel like they're quicker to leak when you're having a heavy day. And it's gonna sound like I'm saying a lot of bad things about them, but overall, I think they're a great start, and I used them for probably about a year when I first started my period. I just think of the bulking awkwardness of being, before I started using tampons and playing volleyball and wearing spandex and having a pad and being like, oh my God, I swear someone can see it. When you've started your period, or if you're ever preparing to start your period, which is a great thing, get pads. They're a great thing, and they're easy, and they're not scary at all. The next thing I'm gonna talk about are tampons, and tampons are what I used for a lot of my life. I've used many different brands. I like the ones that come and they're the shorter ones, and so you pull out the stem. You pull out the stem before, so I don't know. These are more, what I'm trying to say is these are easier to carry around. They're great for sports, they're great for swimming. Once you get the hang of them, they're really easy. And for me personally, when I first started using tampons, it was like a whole new world. A whole new world. Because I was so used to the bulky diaper-like feeling of pads. Ooh, excuse me. The bulky diaper-like feeling of pads, and tampons just offered I was like, I can barely even tell I have my period. The bad things, obviously there's a learning curve, but it doesn't take, it's a very scary thing to a young mind, but it's not. So there's a learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it only takes a couple times using it, and then you're maybe one cycle worth, one period worth, and you'll be like, I'm a pro. Obviously they're not eco-friendly, and another negative, one of the biggest negatives about tampons is it seems like I never had them when I needed them, and I would always end up going out and buying a little box when I would start my period. So I just have a bunch of tiny little boxes of tampons instead of more cost-efficient big box of tampons, because I would never think ahead to carry them around. So that's a bad thing, is you don't always have them on. Next one I'm going to talk about is a sponge. Sponges are great. They're like a natural tampon, as you will. Then my number one problem with sponges though, and the thing I didn't think of before I first used it, was I was so used to tampons and having something to pull on. This, you have to get up in there, and you only need one of these. It's reusable. You just squeeze it out, rinse it out, and put it back in. It's really easy to insert, and it's not painful at all because it's a sponge. My negatives, my cons, is it's really hard to remove, personally for me, without a string. And I learned, and I put a string on, and then it was fine, but then it kind of ripped, so I needed a more heavy-duty string, like a rope. They seem to leak quicker than a tampon or a cup. My number one thing that I do not like about sponges is I feel like it's a very messy removal. And that may sound gross, but we're women, or if you're a guy watching this, good for you, but we're all women, we've dealt with period blood. But it's a sponge. So when you squeeze it, stuff comes out. And when you're pulling it out, stuff you're squeezing it and stuff comes out. Sponges, they're good. I don't hate them. They're not my favorite thing to use. But I'm going on. My thing I use now, hair on it. My thing I use now is I use a menstrual cup. Dun, da, da. The one I have is a blue one from Lunette. I think it's called the Selena cup. because blue is just my favorite color. I looked around at there's many different brands of menstrual cups. There's the Diva Cup. I think I just got the Lunette because I'm pretty sure I read reviews. I can't remember what the good reviews were or whatever. I liked, there's good grips on it. I think it was probably, let's be honest, it was probably the color thing. Like the sponge, you only need one of these. I mean, I know when I'm gonna start my period now, and I don't know why, only having one thing, I'm better at remembering bringing it with me. But once you have it, you don't have to worry about worry about running out of them. It's not like tampons, you can run out of them. Like I felt like trying to think, okay, how heavy is my flow today? How many tampons am I gonna need? And running out of them or not having them. Like you only need one of these. You just dump it out, rinse it out, and it's good to go. It's like a tampon. You can swim and do sports, and it's really comfortable. And but unlike tampons, this is eco-friendly. Like this thing lasts you 10 years if you take care of it, which I think I'm taking care of it. There is a little bit of a learning curve to this, but once you get the hang of it, it's super easy. So yeah, final thoughts on all of these things. Girls, start with pads. It's the easiest thing in the world. Just know that there is a learning curve to the rest of this stuff, but don't get frustrated. Just keep on practicing and do it at a time where you have plenty of time to play around. Yeah, I will make individual videos about each of these different products and go more into depth about different things to do with them, how to use them, and all that sort of jazz. If you guys have any questions about any of this or want to tell me what you like to use, let me know. I love hearing that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna end this one and start in on tampons in more detail. So look out for that video too. Okay guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in a little bit. Bye.